Hey guys, Angry Joe here, and I'm with the gameplay designer Anton with Beyond Earth. Really excited. Obviously, you guys know I love some Firaxis love here. You know, Civilization 5, XCOM. So I'm excited to see what you got for us here. I just got done with about a 15-minute demo on the game. I love these types of games. You know, I'm a big 4X fan. It's cool to see this come back. I get the Alpha Centauri type of vibe from it, you know. Not exactly the same, obviously, but it's got that vibe. But I'm just, your position in particular, you'll be good to answer this question. I'm worried that it looks essentially just like a reskin of Civilization 5. What new features are we going to see here in this game?
There's a lot of new features. I'd say probably the most distinctive, and one of the reasons it's really not like Civ 5 at all, it's really a new entry in the franchise, is the tech web. So starting with the tech web, I think you saw a little bit of it in the demo, but by starting at the center and moving in kind of any direction that you want, it changes the way you research technology as a player, but also for us as designers, really changed a lot of the assumptions that we could make in earlier Civ games of, at a certain point, like for example in Civ 5, I worked on Gods and Kings and Brave New World, so a lot of balancing consideration as you go through the tech tree and stuff like that.
Brave New World was amazing.
We're looking at each system individually. So for example, we really liked what the trade routes did in Brave New World, and that's something that we've brought over into Beyond Earth and put another spin on it and made it even more of a thing. Other systems like religion we felt like made less sense. And so like we did a fundamental redesign for Beyond Earth with every system in the Civilization game. We ended up keeping a lot of things as is. It's like how cities work, with the exception of no stacking units, right? But there's a little twist on just about everything. So there's no stacking units, but you have an orbital layer where you can kind of stack an orbital unit on top of the map, and it affects what's below it. You have cities, and they worked the way they did before. For the most part, you'll build buildings and stuff like that, but you can't just build a city right off the bat. You got to go out into the wilderness. You got to push back the alien life forms, which behave very differently from barbarians. And you got to settle an outpost, which takes them.
Really behave that differently from
They do.
From the barbarians. So the barbarians used to come and attack us as soon as you saw them on the map. They come and attack us. These
Right.
aliens, how exactly do they behave on that?
They're actually, when you start out, they're pretty docile, and they don't come and attack you. They don't come and attack your cities. Really, they're just more in the way. So you have your first city. Your first city is very strong, but eventually, you want to go out and you want to found that second city. You want to start the outpost. You want to get your expansion going. But that's hard because there's a lot of aliens that are in the way, and you send out vulnerable civilian units. They're going to be actually in our map generation, we've changed a lot so that the map generation has these wild areas. So the wild areas are where you're going to get a lot of your rich resources and a lot of your really good city spots. They're also where the aliens are going to be most present. So you kind of have to make this decision. It's like, do I kind of stay peaceful with the aliens and just kind of take the land that I can get, or do I start exterminating them? Do I start pushing them back and risk their wrath?
Because you attack one, they ain't gonna forget. They're gonna come after you.
Yeah.
Into your base.
Yeah, especially if you attack them near their nests. There's a lot of really specific factors that will influence their mood towards you, and you actually see that change in their art. So you have barbarians in Civ 5, you have the black flag with the red was their kind of like their logo. In our game, they kind of have similar art treatment, but they start out with this kind of like nice green friendly color. As you start attacking them a little bit more, it turns to orange. They're not so happy with you anymore. And if you really start pissing them off, they're red, and they just go after you.
Out there that just don't like you right from the beginning, or all of them docile.
They all kind of have the same sort of opinion towards you. Definitely, like if you attack a specific nest, that specific nest will, react and be very defensive.
I think it's a great part of the game, obviously, because we're exploring a new planet. We're trying to settle that, and that I'm excited to see all the different alien life forms. Do you know how many the number of alien life forms we're going to see in this game as far as monsters?
It's been changing back and forth. I think currently it stands at 5 or 6.
5 or 6 different alien?
Yeah, different alien types. They each got their unique tactics, different ways that they behave.
5 or 6 alien units or different types of aliens?
The units.
It's rather small, that count. I was hoping for lots of different ones.
When you see
fly traps or something, when you go in the forest and man-eating things.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds then mainly the focus is player versus player and interactions between the players rather than the aliens. That's just sort of a barbarian type system.
yes and no, right? So the barbarians in Civ 5, like you attack them, but maybe by turn 50, turn 100, they're mostly gone, and you've cleared out the camps. Like maybe if you're playing an archipelago map, there's a camp that you managed to survive until the industrial age, and it's got weird units or something. But in our game, aliens do stay relevant through most of the game. So you're going to be pushing them back, but they get stronger as the game goes on. And there's a lot of I said 5 or 6 units. Some units you won't see until later in the game, and they're very strong and they're very hard to deal with. Yeah, the siege worms are really hard to take down. So yeah, we have that, and the alien world I think is another thing. Going back to your earlier question about is it just a Civ 5 reskin? The alien world is really, really different from anything that you've seen on an Earth, alternate Earth in Civ 5. So the aliens are a huge part of that. Also the miasma that you're exploring around, it puts a barrier between you and exploration. If you're going to the Harmony Affinity, you can actually start using it to your advantage. Your combat units will be bonus. They'll have a bonus in there, and you can even launch orbital units to spread miasma, and kind of like carpet your land in this sort of like poison gas that's helpful for you, but sucks for any invaders coming in.
Are you guys adding anything significantly new to the formula, like a campaign mode or a story mode or anything like that? Because traditionally it's been sandbox. That's the way I like it. But sometimes I was looking for a little bit more story information or anything like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I'd say there's 2 gameplay systems that do kind of fill that role. And one of the things we really like about the Civilization franchise is it is this sort of sandbox in that you play every time, you get a different map, you get a different combination of events and stuff like that. So the player kind of tells their own story. And we didn't want to get in the way of that, but we did want to add a lot more lore and fiction and story and good stuff, right? So the 2 parts that the 2 main systems we're focusing on to accomplish that are the quest system and the affinities system.
Oh, so you have quests.
So we do have quests, yeah.
And how do those work?
So quests work like they're triggered by different events in the game. Some you'll get early on, the first resource pod that you explore on the alien world, or when you come across a siege worm for the first time and you don't know what to do about it. There'll be quests that appear, and they'll all have gameplay rewards, but they also have this really nice fiction along with them. So you start out, the quests kind of tell the story of what's happening to your people as they're adapting to this new environment.
And that's throughout the entire session,
from start to finish. Yeah, and actually the 5 different victory types that we have are all framed as quests as well. So there's kind of different steps that you have to do.
What are they again?
So the military, the domination was just take over all the other capitals of the other players. There's also the contact victory, which fans of Carl Sagan will recognize as kind of the plot of his book and of the movie. So the idea there is on the alien world, you see. You come across ruins of an ancient alien civilization. They're not there anymore. They left a long time ago. But you see kind of fragments of intelligence that they left behind. They were clearly very sophisticated. And so the contact victory is about putting those pieces of the puzzle together. And you find them in different places. It might be different every game. Sometimes some pieces you get by launching an orbital unit and kind of like probing into deep space and listening for what's called the signal. You might have a chance to dig it up at one of these ruins on the map. Or if you research a specific technology, put a lot of research efforts into it, you might unlock it that way. But however you come across it, the contact victory is about, you figure out how to build this structure that can kind of like signal this alien to the. They're still out there somewhere. We don't see presence. They haven't been here for thousands of years, but we can signal to them.
Actually do that? Is there like a cinematic or something that happens?
We got some victory art. Yeah, we got some victory art. Yeah. We do like it, kind of like we want to keep it kind of mostly in the player's imagination, though. And that's kind of the philosophy of all. It's not like here's the alien animated, right? Okay, exactly. Gotcha. Yeah. So because again, like each planet you're playing on is different, so like the sort of contact that you have may be different every time, especially depending on the way that you came across the signal. Okay. The other 3 victory types, which are also these quests, are. Each linked to a specific affinity. So the affinities in the game are kind of these post-human philosophies. It's the directions that we thought as designers would be cool to explore in terms of gameplay, but also in terms of story about like where might humanity end up if we took if we left, we got into an alien planet, had all these crazy new things to experience. How might we react? How might we change? How would the planet change us, and how would we change the planet? And so the 3 kind of answers to that take the form of the affinities, and those are harmony, purity, and supremacy.
And those are the three.
Those are the three. Well, so each one has a different victory type that kind of reflects what its philosophy is. So
Kind of cool, kind of unique. Something
yeah.
different, yeah.
So the Harmony Affinity is about communing with the alien planet. Their technologies are very much about gene splicing, genetic manipulation. They are the players that get along with the aliens, so much, in fact, that they can do the call worms operation. And
You get those alien units on your side.
yeah, so I mentioned earlier there's 5 to 6 alien units. Those are the only the ones out in the wild. If you go for the Harmony Affinity, you also unlock unique Harmony units that are like put together from different alien life forms. So you have the Xeno Cavalry, for example, which is there's an alien that you saw out in the wild that was attacking you early in the game. Now your people have domesticated it, and you can ride it like a horse.
Yeah.
And you're going out, and they flank enemies. It's really cool, tactically. And you eventually get so far in advance that you can kind of put together your own alien life forms out of pieces, like the best pieces of each.
That's
and kind of create this awesome army of things that just roll across the world.
Speaking of awesome, is there any sort of mega weapon? Because we all like dropping nukes, but
Nukes.
I don't know. Is there any nukes in this game? Because I don't know if it's appropriate for it, because we're just doing the exploration type thing.
Right.
Higher level military stuff.
Higher level military stuff, definitely. And specifically in the form of nukes, no. But the advanced covert operations that I mentioned earlier, those are kind of our way of doing that. Because we want something in the late game, just like nukes were in Civ 5, like a way to shake up, like, okay, yeah, this person's in the lead, but I have the red phone that I can pick up, and I can say, okay,
Let's
do
hit
the
that
operation,
button or something.
hit the button. And so you can, call worms to an enemy city. You can
Which is basically
sabotage.
like a nuke or something like that.
In terms of
its own
gameplay, that's our version of it for
Okay.
Beyond Earth. Yeah.
Are you going to open it up the modding community possibly, that they can make more alien life forms and that kind of stuff? What's your modding system going to be like in this game? Is you gonna allow that kind of stuff? Map editors?
Modding is definitely like one of the big strengths of the Civilization franchise, and it's something that we are paying a lot of attention to. It's hard to say for certain before launch, this early before launch, what kind of support is going to be there at the end of it. But I can say, like, working with the gameplay systems in particular, like the covert operations I mentioned, are all based in Lua scripts. So there are a lot
You
of...
guys are not 100% sure yet what you're going to do with those?
We're not sure yet. I mean, we're bringing features online. We're going to support things as much as we can.
Please open it up for us.
We hear you. We hear you.
We'd love to get our hands on that and create more. It's cool,
Yeah.
because you guys create cool stuff. They create some cool stuff.
Yeah, we love going through the Civ 5 Steam Workshop pages and just seeing like, oh man, that stuff is so awesome. And just seeing what the fans do. We love supporting you guys.
And one final thing is just
Yeah.
multiplayer. I remember in Civ 5 when it first came out, the multiplayer was a little bit weak. There was some problems with it, and so you guys have incorporated all the feedback previously, and now that you've got this new template, it's going to come out, pretty solid. Are we going to get like combat animations and all that good stuff in multiplayer?
Yeah, we've had a lot of focus on multiplayer. We have the same multiplayer engineer that's worked with us through Gaza Kings and through Brave New World, listening to you guys out on the forums and patching all the errors that we've found.
Yeah.
He's been working on Beyond Earth.
Okay.
And so we've been paying a lot of close attention. Our QA department's been testing the game multiplayer every day. So yeah, that's definitely, like modding, it's a big focus for us, and we want to make sure it's in a good state when it comes out.
So when does the game come out? And obviously it's going to be available for PC, but do you know when we might get our hands on it?
It's coming out this fall, and it's not only PC but also Mac and Linux.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so
thank you so much for
Yeah.
taking the time to speak with us, and
thank
we'll
you so
see
much.
you on the next Angry Joe Show.
This is the end of the line. The